Another day means another day for dog attacks as the dog nuttery continues. Dog tired. Jurassic Park dog breeders slammed for creating vicious mutts amid rise attacks as XL bully ban plan considered. And what have I always said? I've always said that these dogs are not natural. I've always said that they are man-made creations. You cannot find these dogs out in the wild. You can't. As this article confirms what we already know, is that these dogs are created by man, not by God, not by no demon, not by no devil. These dogs, pretty much every worthless mutt, are created by man. Even though I thought there was a XL bully ban or whatever, they're still creating different bully breeds, different dog breeds, different dogs almost every day. And yet, even though they are creating new dog breeds, still, the attacks continue. They're the ones creating these dogs. But the attacks are still continuing. But it's not the breed. It's not the breed. It's not the breed's fault. It's not the dog's fault. Even though men are creating these dogs, it's not the dog's fault, apparently. Like what they say, the politicians, the Minister Heather Humphrey believes dog owners need to keep their animals under control. See, even the politicians that are so-called against bully breeds are blaming the owner for the dog's actions. XL bully dogs have been involved in recent attacks. Is it because all these owners could not keep their dog under control? Over 3,000 people were admitted to hospital after being bitten between 2012 and 2021. That's one too many. Dog attacks are on the rise in Ireland. The figure includes over 1,000 children. But it's not the breed. It's not the dog. It is not the dog. It has nothing to do with the dog. It is all because of the owner. She has also tripled the fines for irresponsible owners. And even though you've tripled the fines, the attacks still occur. And it's because it's because of the dog. It's because of these dogs. No matter where you put it. Yes, the owners are responsible for wanting to put these things in our communities, in our societies. But these politicians as well, they're also responsible for allowing it to continue to happen. But at the end of the day, it is the dog. The problem is the dog. Because we don't see these stats for any other animal, only for the dog. They're saying they're giving extra, we'll say $2 million to local authorities to upgrade dog shelters and buy more dog warden vehicles and such things. Why? If it's not the dog, why even do these things? Maybe you should be using these resources on the owner instead. Maybe use these resources to train owners to be better dog owners. Because even if you put this much money into this and bully breed still exists, the problem will continue to exist. Why am I even going over this? There should be common sense. Common sense. It is not Jurassic Park here. People should not need to breed dogs just for the sole purpose of making them as vicious as possible. See, again, these are mutants, man-made creations. They're man-made. They're soulless, brain-damaged mutants. And they are implying and are stating that they're bred to be vicious and dangerous. But at the same time, you're saying it's the owner's responsibility. Again, this is very confusing. It's very confusing. Because they're saying right now that dog nutters are breeding them to be vicious. They're breeding them to be vicious. Then, knowing that they are vicious, they're still blaming the owner. And their solution is to dump money into shelters, into dog control, in order to as a solution for these dangerous dog breeds. Doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. These are man-made things. So why not just eliminate them? They ain't going to know doggy heaven. They ain't even going to know doggy hell. They are wasteful. There are nothing in them. Even though they have recently have an outright ban on XL bully breeds, there are still attacks going on nearly every day in the UK, Ireland. Is Ireland part of the UK? I'll double check that, but yeah. And even these politicians, you think if to be a politician, you'd have to have some common sense. But when it comes to dogs, it's like even the politicians are clueless. They're clueless about dogs. Clueless. And look at all these rules. Look at all these rules. No dog license, no identification on dog, stray dog, dog not kept under control, breach of bylaws, dog fouling public place. So much of these rules for these things. So many laws and penalties, but yet dog culture, bully breed culture remains in the psychopathic state as it is. Oh, boy. Again, I really don't care about dogs themselves, but I want to show that even dogs attack other dogs. Dogs are not just attacking people. They're not just attacking little children, babies. They are also attacking other dogs. It's just music playing. And even with that, I'm a bit frowned upon. Copyright thing. I'll kind of read what they're saying if I could actually pause and read. I cannot pause and read. But anyways, again, elderly dog, mauled by crazed XL bully in savage attack, leaving locals scared to leave their homes. But it's not the dog's fault. Residents in Glasgow have been left scared to leave their homes after an elderly dog was mauled by an XL bully. Marianne Thompson, 13-year-old worthless mutt, Scamp was attacked by an out-of-control and unmuzzled beast, use the word beast, at around 1 a.m. 1 a.m. 1 a.m. This dog was attacked at 1 a.m. in the morning, where everyone is sleeping, everyone is tired, no one's really roaming outside, people are inside. 1 a.m. Again, these dogs, they just don't give up. They just don't take breaks. They were walking the worthless mutt at the time at 1 a.m. in the morning. They were heading towards some fields on Moss Valley Way when the suspected bully pounced on the elderly dog and pinned it to the ground by the neck. Barry had to jump on top of both dogs in desperate attempt to help his beloved worthless mutt. The poorly worthless mutt was rushed to the vets, but the wounds on his shoulder couldn't be closed because they had become infected. Even dogs themselves get infected by other dogs. Other dogs, germs and bacteria. So instead of, running for your life, or at least staying armed, at least, these people were not armed. And they decided to save their worthless mutt instead of running for cover. And now I'm guessing the dog the owners could be fined or even jail or face jail time if they don't comply with the strict rules owning the breed. Again, these rules are pretty worthless. They're worthless and they're meaningless. And they don't protect people and even other worthless mutts from getting attacked by dogs. So these solutions of fines and putting up signs aren't helping. What about this? Dog attack in Gravesend Field leaves sheep dead and injured. So, again, these dogs are not just attacking children, adults, other dogs. They're also attacking they're actually attacking other natural animals. Information is sought by Kent police after a dog attack that led to death of sheep near Gravesend. Patrols were called to land near Ashenbank Woods, Halfpence Lane, after a dog was seen attacking sheep in a field around 9:20 a.m. on Monday, the 6th of May, 2024. 3 Oz suffered fatal injuries, with others requiring further treatment. The dog is described as large black and white spaniel, but had left the area with its owner by the time officers arrived. And like always, the beloved dog owner, after your dog attacks, what do? They leave the scene. You think this dog owner cares about what the dog did? No. They only care about their dog. And what they're going to do after fleeing, they're going to go and hide their dog somewhere else to protect the dog, because they don't care about anyone else. They don't care about other natural animals. They don't care that anyone else is living in danger. They don't care. So why should we care about these dogs? Why should we care about these dog nutters when all they do is endanger people every day, everywhere around the world? This is not just an America thing. This is not just a Canadian thing. It's not just happening in the UK. It's also happening in India, in Russia, in Australia, in Africa. And every time it happens, the dog is involved. The dog is involved with hurting, killing people and other natural animals, other dogs, every time. So why do these dog nuts and dog nutters and dog nut politicians, why do they play blind? Why do they continue to add these silly laws and regulations when they do nothing? They aren't protecting people. These dogs still remain in our society, in our communities, in our countries. They still remain in our countries, in our cities. We're still not safe. It's counterproductive. Even threatening these people and using other dogmas as an example by sending them to jail and prison and fines have not done anything. Attacks continue to happen. Dogs continue to be bred. Dogs continue to exist. Dog nuttery continues to be on the rise. It's sickening. Sickening that we're still discussing this. Sickening that we're still in this position. Not even the politicians themselves are saying what needs to be said. So if they're not saying what needs to be said, this is crazy. Then it's crazy. It's frustrating. When they're the ones that have the powers that create these laws and regulations. They're the ones that can take things and add things. But they know that these dogs are detrimental to societies. Worldwide, citywide, community-wide. But yet, they do nothing and say nothing about it. What needs to be said. They will say things. But it's meaningless gibberish. Meaningless. And I think they need to come down harder about these dogs. Speaking softly. Speaking the way they speak about these dogs does nothing but only reinforces these dogs to exist. It's sad. I'm frustrated. This is frustrating. Again, dangerous dog responsible for savage attacks still on the loose in Swindon. This is more UK attacks by dogs. 2 years dogs involved in separate attack in Sweden. Victims are still on the loose. When they say dogs can sense bad people, is that why they attack their owners? If so, why aren't these dogs attacking these owners? If a bad owner is a bad person, Why don't dogs attack their owners before they attack someone else? Again, it doesn't make sense, does it? Because this dog culture doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense whatsoever. You got to be brain dead and delusional to accept everything that happens in dog culture. So yeah, it's just again, I don't care about these dogs, but I'm just showing it as an example that these dogs in general, attack other dogs too. They're attacking sheep, people, other dogs, their owners. Cars, they're attacking cars. No one's safe around them. No one is safe. Charlie Watts speaks out after XL bully attack in Holt. Woman left with more than 200 puncture wounds after needing 80 stitches after being set upon by an XL bully dog has spoken out about her brutal 35-minute ordeal. Charlie Watt, 28, was attacked while trying to break up a fight between two XL bullies at her home in Holt. She said that while one of the worthless mutt mauled her, the other worthless mutt saved her life by defending her until she could get to safety. I'm a little confused. I thought someone set the dogs on her. But she was breaking up a fight with these fighting dogs who were fighting, and in the end she was attacked by one of them. Then she says the other dog was defending her. So if one dog was defending her, then the other one wanted her dead. The other one wasn't just going to bite her and just walk away. Wasn't just going to give her a little nip and walk away. The other one wanted to kill her. But in the end, if it has to take 35 minutes for this to last, while another dog is defending you, then they're again, it just confirms how worthless and dangerous these dogs are. None of these dogs can use a gun. They can't use a sword. They can't use a knife. 35 minutes. She eventually escaped from the first floor window, down a ladder with the help of a neighbor, and taken to hospital. I probably wouldn't have helped. I would have said, hey, you're the one that chose to live with these things. You got to help yourself. All of a sudden, now you need human help? Now you need human help? But instead of, acquiring human help, you got two dangerous dogs to live with you. But then again, if I don't do anything, those dogs could hurt someone else or hurt me. Something to think about. But anyways. So you say Titan saved her life. Does that mean the other dog wanted to kill her, though? They wouldn't say that. They wouldn't say the other dog wanted to kill me. They won't say that. And she's still a dog nutter. I bet she's still gonna keep this one in her house. She's still gonna keep this one in her house. And then, not realizing when it's gonna happen, this one's gonna turn on her as well. So basically, she didn't learn her lesson. Didn't learn her lesson. She said she never saw the dog's attack coming. I said this in the previous video. I showed a dog just sitting there. And many dog nuts would look at it and say, this dog would never attack. This dog has never attacked. This dog is sweet. This dog is friendly. You turn your back for 1 second after knowing this dog for years, that dog starts to attack. And it's the same thing that just comes up. And I'm not making up these stories here. Everything I say, all the news that we see are happening in real life, in real time here. She never saw it coming. What do you expect? Do you think the dog's supposed to tell you, I'm going to attack you? If a dog was growling, do you think she would assume that dog is going to attack? If the dog was barking at her, would she assume the dog was going to attack her? No, she would probably stay there and be like, boy, stop talking. I don't know what they do. They tell the dog to shut up or something. Try to affirm dominance. I mean, it wouldn't make sense for a dog to let prey know that they're going to attack. That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Like, why would they warn you that they're about to attack? Makes no sense. Hey, I'm going to attack you, but I'm going to warn you before I attack you. That really makes no sense. Hey, before I attack you, I'm going to warn you when I attack you. Just to give you time to flee. That makes no sense. It's like, lions letting deer know, hey, when I do this, that means I'm going to attack you. So get out of the way. Makes no sense. Call is taking a while. I'll come back to this then later. All right, let's see what they're gonna say about this one. So we've always, or at least I have always, I've always ripped and attacked and criticized dogs and their dog owners when dogs attack for no reason. But here we have a story where it says dog bites face of alleged sexual attacker in park. Let's see what they're going to say regarding this situation. A Colorado woman was able to help fight off a man trying to sexually assault her thanks to help of her dog. The Fort Collins Police Department responded to a 911 call from a woman who said she was being attacked by a man. The dispatcher said that the woman was crying and telling the male to get off her when she called. Police were able to locate the woman at Lee Martinez Park using her cell phone's location. When the officers arrived, the woman told them she fought off the suspect for over 20 minutes as he tried to sexually assault her. During the struggle, her dog attacked the man, biting him in the face, allowing her to escape for 20 minutes. She was fighting off this suspect for over 20 minutes. And only after 20 minutes, her dog intervened? Where was the dog? What was the dog doing? 20 minutes. 20 minutes. All it takes is a second for anyone to be abducted, taken away, put in a car, gone. 20 minutes. And she's calling this dog pretty much a hero. Mind you, they were at a park. So that dog would have to be roaming around somewhere, I'm guessing off leash. 20 minutes, though. 20 minutes. Officers involved were surprised by the dog's behavior and gave a great kudos to this. And they gave a great kudos to its intervention. But after 20 minutes, So so we have a situation where the dog attacks someone. And in this situation, the dog is seen as a hero. So there are you guys following me here? The dog attacks someone to save someone from being assaulted, and they are praising the dog for attacking the suspect. They're praising the dog for attacking the suspect. They're praising the dog for attacking and intervening with the suspect. But when the dog, in other situations, when the dog attacks for no reason, no one is, calling out the dog for attacking for no reason. Instead of calling out the dog for attacking for no reason, what they do is they blame the owner. So a dog attacks for no reason, it's not the dog's fault. Dog attacks children for no reason, it's not the dog's fault. Dog attacks owner, not the dog's fault. Dog attacks sheep, not the dog's fault. Dog attacks other dogs, not the dog's fault. But as soon as dog attacks a suspect that was, assaulting someone, dog now gets praised. They praise the dog for. They're praising the dogs. They're praising the dog's actions and behavior because it used its teeth to harm someone. But when a dog does the same thing to someone that's innocent, not the dog's fault. But in this situation, they praise the dog. They're praising the dog for attacking someone to save someone's life. But when a dog attacks someone to end someone's life, it's not the dog that did it, it is the owner. Are you guys following me? Am I making sense here? And I kind of knew this. I knew this would happen. I knew this would happen. Call me psychic, but I knew this would happen. But 20 minutes of being assaulted. That's a long time. 20 minutes. You're in a park, 20 minutes of being assaulted. Dog finally comes and attacks the suspect. The dog is praised. But when a dog does it for no reason to other innocent bystanders, even dogs, the dog gets ignored. Instead, we focus it on the owner. We blame the owner. So why aren't they praising the owner here? They're not saying, hey, good job for the owner for teaching the dog to do this or training the dog to do this or whatsoever. I hope I'm making sense here. In Australia, dog mauls 4-year-old girl in Melbourne Park. Dog was on a lead at the time of the attack, even when they're on a leash. Even when they're on a leash, they still attack. She was mauled by a dog in Melbourne's west. The girl was attacked in a recreational reserve on Churchill Avenue in Baybrook at 1:55 p.m. She was taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The dog was on the lead at the time of the incident and contained. The owner remained at the scene. That's new, and is assisting police with the inquiries. And that's it. That's all we got. Even though the thing was on a leash, it still attacked. Let's see what they're gonna say. Hope this plays.
Only on 13, a man says he was forced to punch a dog that was attacking his best friend. He says a large dog attacked his dog, himself, and another person. He's sharing the story with ABC 13's Luke Jones live from Montrose tonight. Luke.
Both those people and that dog in bandages now, but otherwise all right. That attack happening right here on this street corner, and during that, the dog's owner, the attacking dog's owner, nowhere to be found. In fact, it wasn't until this afternoon that authorities finally tracked her down.
We walked a couple of miles, and we were right at the tail end of our walk when this incident occurred.
On the streets of Montrose Sunday,
I started kicking the pit bull.
a fierce battle between man and dog.
I took the pit bull to the ground, and I started punching him in the head.
All, Fred Schiller says, to free his own dog, Verve, from the pit bull's mouth.
Everybody was screaming.
Schiller says it all began when he was walking Verve at Indiana and Morse,
I had been coming down that side,
and the pit bull charged at them from across the street.
and the next thing I know is that pit bull makes a beeline.
He quickly takes hold of Verve, chomping down on his neck. Schiller, who once trained in Taekwondo, says he had no choice but to put those skills to use.
And I kept punching and punching. He wouldn't drop him, and my dog was screaming. His eyes were bulging out. I thought he was going to die.
Ellen Blasio tries intervening.
Without thinking, I ran over to kind of grab the little dog.
Efforts that earn her multiple bites on one of her hands. Schiller is also bitten, but ultimately manages to restrain the attacking dog.
I kept the pit bull pinned down with his head in the mud because I thought, okay, if I let this thing up, I'm next.
That's when he says the dog's owner drives up. We're blurring her face since she's not charged with a crime.
She gets out of her
Look how,
car.
look how tiny she was. She was so petty and tiny. And that's the owner.
And she says, that's my dog.
After days of trying, Bark finally tracked her down today and says she's agreed to bring the dog in for quarantine to watch for signs of rabies. But Bark says she likely won't be cited for having her dog off.
Again, they're using the rabies excuse. They're using the rabies excuse to justify and to protect the dog. Like they use various meaningless, weird excuses all the time to protect these dogs. Just in the other story, they weren't talking about rabies. They didn't mention rabies of the dog intervening against the suspect. They praised that dog. But now all of a sudden, now when the dog attacks for no reason, now it's rabies? Now it's some mental disease? It's the owner? Every time there's some excuse.
I started kicking the pit bull.
A fierce hands. Schiller. And Bark says Schiller still has the option.
But again, I don't really care for the dogs. But I'm just, again, showing you that dogs also attack other dogs. Dogs are attacking other animals, children, even when they're on a leash. There's no... It's nonstop. It's nonstop. And look, this owner is so petty and tiny. Another one, this is in the UK. Police issue warning after a young girl mauled by family's dog. Be related to banned XL bully, left child under 10 with puncture wounds and needing hospital care. Young girl was previously bitten on the head by her family dog in the garden, prompting police to plead the parents not to leave pets, dogs alone with children. It really doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We have so many stories. Dogs attacking anyway, anyhow. Whether they're supervised, unsupervised, on a leash, or not on a leash. they always find a way to attack, always find a way to hurt people, whether they're trained or not. 'Cause again, Caesar Milan's dog attacked, killed another dog. Caesar Milan's dog attacked, I think it was a gymnast. So training is irrelevant. Training is irrelevant. A lot of these dog trainers, their dogs still attack. They have to use very physical force with their dogs. A lot of dog lovers still have to abandon dogs. So dogs are the problem. And if once they still remain in our society, they're still going to continue to be a problem. The child was playing unattended outside at her home and fell when the dog ran over her and began biting her in the head. Look at that. She just fell. She fell, and the dog went up to attack her. Family dog, mind you. This is the family's dog. The child fell. The child fell and the dog decided to attack her. The child was not provoking the dog. The child did not even touch the dog. The child fell. And the dog attacked her. So it doesn't take much to trigger these things. In the last video, they're using the rabies excuse. Now they're using, you need supervision now. But in the other story, after 20 minutes, the dog attacks the suspect. The dog is praised. It's illegal to own and breed or sell American XL bullies, but there's still plenty of pit bulls in the UK. They're still creating new bully breeds that look exactly like XL bullies, but they're not really 100% XL bullies. They may have a one little minor feature that's different or taken away, but they're not XL bullies. So they're okay. But even though they're still attacking people, it's okay. Because again, it's not about the dog. It's not the breed. Every dog's an individual. You gotta keep blaming the owner. When a dog attacks, we blame the owner. But unless when the dog attacks to protect someone, then we praise the dog. We don't praise the owner. We praise the dog. Kid injured in Brooks County. Dog attack. Mother found dead. This is in Georgia. I believe GA's Georgia. 2 kids were injured after a pack of dogs attacked them in Quiet Man on Thursday evening. Their mother was also found dead at the scene. The incident happened on Thursday, May 9th on Webster Street at a bus stop behind Brooks County Middle School. The juveniles were taken to hospital after reported dog attacks. Courtney Williams, 35, was found dead in the yard of residence, according to GBA report. Deputies arrived and encountered several aggressive dogs on the property. It was determined the juveniles had already been transported to a local hospital by a private citizen. Deputies subsequently located the body of Courtney Williams, white female, 35 years old of age, in the yard of the residence. Yeah, people dump dogs all over the county, and no one can help get help with and no one can get help with them because there's no county animal control. Praying for this woman's family. This is so sad. So now they're blaming it on people dumping dogs. First it was rabies, then it was no supervision. Now they're blaming on people dumping dogs. They don't want to hold dogs accountable for their actions and behavior. Always, always, always finding some excuse. They're always finding some excuse. to justify, to protect, and to defend these dogs. But in a situation where the dog intervened to attack a suspect after 20 minutes of its owner getting sexually assaulted, they still praise the dog. They're not praising the owner. They praise the dog. But only when the dog attacks someone or etc., that's when the owner gets blamed. Dog culture does not make sense. Trying to explain things in dog culture, even when I'm saying it, doesn't really make sense because culture does not make sense. You got to be brain dead, delusional, psychotic, a psychopath, mentally ill, mentally disturbed to accept dog culture and act as if it's nothing, if it's sweet, if it's heaven, it's paradise. And that's what a lot of these dog nutters do. They act like dog culture, their dogs, bully breeds, etc. are paradise. They're sweet, they're perfect. When the reality and the facts and the stats say that dogs are dangerous. Dogs are hurting people. They're hurting their owners, they're hurting children, they're hurting even other dogs, they're hurting natural animals. You fall and you get attacked. But it's not the dog's fault. Unless you're being attacked for 20 minutes, then your dog comes to save you, then we praise the dog. But other than that, it's never the dog's fault. And we have these petty and tiny dog owners, bully breed owners, taking care of these things when they have no control whatsoever. When they're so fragile. And we already had another female bully breed owner get attacked by one of her bully dogs for 35 minutes. 35 minutes she was being attacked and held hostage in her own home by her own fur babies. Which apparently only one of them attacked her. The other one apparently was defending her. 35 minutes. So if people can't defend themselves from dogs, if people can't stop a dog attack, and even bully breeds can't stop dog attacks, it's where you dog nuts are skating uphill. You're skating uphill. And these politicians, they do nothing but create these meaningless, bogus laws and regulations which does absolutely nothing. There have been way more laws now in the last, let's say, 5 years about these dogs, but yet dog attacks continue to go up. Dog attacks continue to remain high, not just in America, not just in Canada, not just in the UK, not just in India, not just in Australia, not just in Africa, not just in Asia, all over the world. All over the world. And it's the same people, especially in the West, that want to import dogs all over the world into their countries. But if those countries cannot handle, control their dogs, their stray dogs, and you in your own country can't control or handle your own dogs, what is the point? What's the point? People love dogs so much, they just can't see how it's totally irrational and silly. They want to do all this stuff for dogs, and dogs will never say thank you or you're welcome. They want to act as if dogs love them. Dogs are friendly. Dogs are your brother. Dogs are your son, your daughter. That's delusional. You're delusional for calling your dogs your child. You're delusional. But since it's so popular and everyone else does it, it's okay. Is it? Ladies and gentlemen, this work, doing this stuff is frustrating because of the stupidity that you have to endure. And that's why with dog nutters and dog lovers, they have to stay delusional and ignorant, because if they don't, they'll notice that their dog culture, their dogs, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense. That's why when they hear people hate dogs and hear people are against bully breeds, the first thing they do is not use facts and stats to support themselves. They insult others. They insult others instead of supporting their side. And that only shows that they're immature, they're delusional, and they're ignorant. It only proves that they and this dog culture is not good. It's counterproductive. It's not healthy. With everything else in this world that requires information, facts, the truth matters. They are all taken in consideration. But when it comes to dogs, bully breeds, pit bulls, all the facts and stats are just thrown out in the toilet. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Gore the Dog Butcher with another Worthless Mutts. Please remember that it is okay to hate dogs.